My last video ran a little bit long, and I forgot to tell you guys about how I recently needed to get stitches on my foot. Basically, I cut my foot pretty deeply, right under the big toe joint. And when I first looked at it, I could actually see the muscle right here, and I could almost see the bone underneath. But I really got a good view of my muscle, and I was like, "Uh-oh, that's bad news." So immediately, this is actually the what's left of the roll of gauze I used to dress it before getting it treated. Basically, I just balled it up here a little bit, put it over the cut, and then wrapped it tight enough so there's some compression to help stop the bleeding. Basically, taped it down with some medical tape. And the first dressing I put on soaked all the way through with blood. So even before I could go to the hospital, I had to put another dressing on. And then once we got there, they used a syringe, almost like this, not quite. It was actually connected to a larger bag of saline, and basically they squirted saline solution into the wound to clean it out. And they said, it was right on the joint, so they couldn't glue it shut. They prefer using glue or steri strips as opposed to sutures, because the suturing or stitching is so invasive. Putting a needle and thread or catgut through your skin to close the wound. They prefer not to do that. But they said since it was on the joint, and even if I didn't want to move it, it would just, the natural biomechanics, the movement, there would be some unintended movement. So they used some stitches to close the wound. So I had the stitches in for 16 days. And once the wound was closed enough, I had the stitches removed at my house. So yeah, we've got some medical professionals here, so I didn't have to go back to the hospital to have them removed. I just had some relatives pull out the stitches. But it just goes to show, the stuff that you have to treat a wound before you can get to professional medical help. It is helpful. It is useful. It does come in handy. But having the equipment is just step one. Step two is learning how to use it, getting educated on how to treat wounds. So I highly recommend taking a first aid course, and especially with the more advanced stuff like you've seen in my kit, like the suture kits that I actually have, like this one here. If you get it, make sure you learn how to use it, because you could do a lot more harm than good if you use some of the stuff without knowing how to properly use it. And yeah, we actually we got the sutures coming out, the sutures being removed from my foot on video. So I'll go ahead and tack that on to the end of this video, so you can see what that looks like. Anyways, have a good night, guys, and stay safe.
Don't move. Oh. Oops, lost that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You're done.
That was a weird sensation.